Hello, I am the H-Town Vet, and I would like to welcome you to this live stream, a place where we will discuss a variety of benefits. Oh, hold on, let me get this. I hate when people call me. Um, a place where we will discuss a variety of benefits available to veterans and their dependents. Come on into the room, family. We see that many of you have already shown up. We got 23 comments already. So, family, we're glad that you're here. We're about the business tonight. We're going to make this thing happen. Let us know about our sound. If that's okay, come on into the room. We got the family coming in. We got Coach that said, good evening, H-Town and family. MG Smith said, good evening, H-Town and family. Hello, Coasty. Then we have Cindy Queen. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasant and sunny 62 degrees here in San Francisco. Kevin Cobar Sr. says, evening, family. You're welcome, my brother. And then Coasty says, good evening, MG Smith, Cindy Queen, and Kevin. And then Cindy Queen says, I pray everyone is doing well. My prayers are the same. MG Smith says, Kevin, good evening. And they speaking to everybody. Okay, hope everybody had a good week. Our brothers say, hope everybody doing well. MG Smith says, okay, good evening. How's Clarksville's treating you selling? All right, now let's get into our information for the day, family. Let's continue. And now it's time we're going to get on topic. All right. And the topic for today is 5 key aspects of a static VA disability rating, or 5 key aspects of static VA disability ratings. So, family, we're going to talk about it today. We're going to get into it. We're going to cover this topic because this has been something that we've been needing to address because we don't want any miscommunication. We throw around the word permanent. We throw around the word static. We throw around the words permanent and total. Well, we're going to do some clarification on these issues tonight. Somebody had asked me before about, I think it was Rose City D, or somebody who just got the 100%. I think it was Rose City D, about a condition being static. So this is why the channel is so important. So like we say, the 5 key aspects of static VA disability ratings. We're going to answer the question. And once we do that, we want to ask y'all, did we answer the question? So family, we thank y'all for y'all focus. We appreciate that. We're going to get into the information now. Say thank you all. Now here, when we saying that the condition is static, it's stationary, it's stuck in place, it's no progress, really no movement. You're in the same condition most of the times, okay? The only time the VA is going to focus on a static condition if that condition has improved. There's evidence of that condition improving, okay? We're going to talk about this. It's like being stuck in quicksand. You're not going anywhere. You're not making any progress. You say, but the more you're in quicksand, you might sink more. Yeah, but you're not making any positive progress moving forward. Remember, they're not, if it gets worse, if you already got a static condition, and if that condition is not at 100%, if it gets worse, that just means they increase your rating. But if you're already at 100% permanent total and your condition gets worse, well, you paid at the highest level. So it really doesn't make a difference. We have 7 likes and 12 watching. Smash that like button, family. We'd appreciate it if you do so, if you enjoying this video or live stream. Now, the reason we bring up static conditions and protective ratings, but yes, that is. Now, that's severe in another type of way. Not on the scheduler level. This is extra money because it's not rated. Once you get past the scheduler rating of 100%, it's not based on severity level anymore. Now, but good comment, brother. It's based on extra help that you might need. All right? Because you need extra money, in other words, financially. That the 100% rating does not give you what you need to because of how your condition holds you back. Now, Jay Oliver's in the house says, hello, family. And then everybody's speaking. That's wonderful. Now, here we go. The biggest concern why we talk about static conditions being in this relationship to being permanent conditions is that our concern is why we talk about this is a pre-recorded video, but the chat is live. Over getting increase or getting a decrease. Okay, we file for an increase, even if it's static, we open up a new claim, it can affect us losing benefits. But is the risk worth it? This is that VA claim anxiety or reevaluation anxiety. Now, you can find your status on many of your sheets. You can find it on your decision letter sheet, whether you have a static condition. You can permanent and total in particular. You can find on there also. You can also find it on your VA code sheet. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is that when you're dealing with us, when we say static, it's not likely to improve. Right now, it's stuck in place, but who knows what might happen in the future. So that means that is a permanent rating. Now, permanent does not mean never changing. It's unchanging right now. Look at the words, not likely to improve. But if there's ever any evidence that the VA gets that the condition has improved, they can reduce your rating. But it depends on several aspects of factors. Okay? We're going to talk about it. So the first one being just a regular permanent rating. If you notice, you don't have to be 100% to have a permanent rating for your condition to be static. Okay? For here, the skin scarring, this individual, this Navy veteran has a 10% rating for it, but it's static. But when it comes to his headaches, his or her headaches, they have a 10% rating, but a future exam in June 2019. So it is not static. I'm going to throw a new word out there to y'all today. It is dynamic. Did you hear what I said? It is not static. It is dynamic. What do we mean by dynamic? It fluctuates. It goes up and down. So they have to come back and reevaluate it. You might be in a bad place now, but if they reevaluate it, you might be doing better because of the condition you have. Also for the tinnitus, it is a static rating. I'm looking at the VA code sheet to the right. So family, understand, you don't have to have, give me a second. Now, you don't have to have Okay, what Jay Oliver says, he's speaking to Kevin, H-Town, Cindy, Coasty, MG Smith, Farm Girl, Betty, Rose City D, and again, Kevin. All right. I went backwards reading that. Now, family, glad you're here, brother. So understand, static conditions don't have to be 100%. Understand when it's static, that automatically makes it permanent. All right. A permanent VA rating. The action is that it's not moving, right? It's unchanging. That's the static part. Permanent is a noun. That's a condition that you're in. It's permanent because it's static, meaning it's unchanging. Does not mean it's unchanging forever. Okay? So understand, permanent don't mean permanent. That's that VA wordplay. Now, so it depends on what condition you have. You know, what disability or injury that's service connected that you have that affects whether your condition is permanent or not, or static. Now, remember we did a video, and if you can go back and watch this live stream where we talked about the conditions that are most likely to receive reevaluations, mental health conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder, musculoskeletal injuries like back pain and joint problems, respiratory conditions such as asthma, sleep apnea, auditory issues such as hearing loss and tinnitus. These are the 4 top VA disabilities that are most likely to be reevaluated. Now, if you have a static rating for them, right? You have a permanent rating, then you're less likely to be called in if you don't, how can I say? If you don't have evidence or you open up a new claim. However, if you static at 10%, and you can actually get 100% rating for that disability. So let's say you 10% for mental health, right? Let's say you 10% for depression and it's static. Nah, you're going to take that risk of getting an improvement. Can they take the 10%? Yes, if it falls under a number of years. Some risks are worth it, especially if you have the evidence. Now, disability severity level, that's another thing. The level of impairment, function, and loss, that's what makes a condition static too. If there's very little, now I need to know what he said because we want to educate. He say, Kevin said, yes, sir, I heard my lawyer say that. What did you hear your lawyer say? Let us know, Brother Kevin, because we don't have no problem with y'all. We talking on topic. That's good. Let us know because we want to educate. So if your condition, you could have a permanent status. You could be static at 0% all the way up to 100%, meaning a permanent rating. Okay. We're using those words interchangeably. But it's different when you get to the 100% level, and we're going to talk about that thing. Now, listen to what it says. Kevin says 10% static and get TDIU. Yes. Okay. Now, migraine criteria, for example, you could be static at 50%, but the highest you can get. So that's another factor. Your severity level is another thing that affects whether your condition is static or not. The more severe it is, the more, and it's consistently, it's a consistent thing. That is another issue that affects whether a condition is static. Migraines having the highest rating for migraines, and it stayed that way. And the highest rating for migraines is 50%. The rating schedule for different conditions are not the same. Every condition does not have a 100% rating. Now, number 2 is the CMP exam room. When you have a static condition, you don't have to go to any CMP exam. Okay? If them just calling you out the blue, You don't supposed to, but remember, the VA break the rules and they call people in with a permanent rating more than anybody else. But you can fight it because you're going to use the law and the study that says from the OIG saying that the VA is unjustly reevaluating people with permanent ratings. All right. Now we got Dallas in the room. Say hello, family. And everybody's greeting Dallas. Let us continue. This is another thing that affects static rating. So if you have a static rating, it says future. If you look over on the VA code sheet where it says future exam date, none. So you don't have to have no exam if it's static. Okay. We're just talking about it static. It's just being permanent in nature. It's not total. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, so there's no confusion. So now let us continue. So like you had an eye exam and you have an eye condition and it's static, whatever percentage is static at, you don't have to go in for scheduled exams. You're not going to have a static condition and a future exam date. That's contradictory. That's a problem. Number 3 is another thing that affects a static condition is the levels of protection. Okay, so let's say you got a 10% rating and it's static. Well, if it's if it's under the 5-year rule in particular, right? If you have a future, let's start off first of all. If you have a future, if you have a what I'm gonna say, if you have a future exam, then it's not static. That means it's temporary. So it may be a temporary rating because you have a future exam date. Okay? And it don't necessarily have to be 100%. We're gonna break it down. But when you go into the 5-year rule, so let's say with our example with tinnitus, if you have had tinnitus for 5 years, under the 5-year rule, and let's say it's static, under the 5-year rules, even if they try to reduce you, you got extra protection. How? In the form of they have to have at least 2 negative exams to reduce you. So in addition to your condition being static, let's say 10% for tinnitus, the ringing in the ears, you also have to have 2, so you can fight them with that. Hey, my condition is static. And you can fight it also with they need 2 negative exams, unfavorable exams to reduce you. And you just appeal that on after that. You keep it in appeal. Then they have the 10-year rule. Now the 10-year rule, if they get past, they got 2 negative exams, but you've been having a condition for 10 years, they can reduce you. They can't take your service connection away. So for that tinnitus, you'll always be service connected for it under the 10-year rule if you've had the condition for 10 years. But they can reduce you to 0%. Okay? Now, then a permanent and total rating, that's when we're talking about at the 100% level. We're going to talk about that in a minute. There's a difference between a permanent rating and a permanent and total rating. We're going to break that down. Then 20-year rule, you had any condition, static or not, temporary or not. If you've been paid at a certain level for at least 20 years, with the lowest level in a 20-year period, they're going to give you that. And if the lowest level is 10%, they're going to give you that. If the lowest level in the 20-year period is 100%, you get that. Now, let us continue. Let's see. Our brother says that that's what I'm going through with my back rating. My lawyer said they can appeal my back reduction to get it back to 40%. They are, remember I told you how they like going in there and mess with those back ratings? Well, like our brothers say, they like to go in there and they can do it without sending you to an exam. Remember we covered that? If it won't affect his overall rating. So that's why he wants to get it up, because of the fact since he's fighting it right now, this is important. Because let's say this is important. Let me tell you why. And Brother Kevin he already know this, I'm pretty sure. That you say I'm already 100%. So if I'm 60% for my back and they reduce me down to 40 or 20 or whatever the ratings are for back ratings, well, if they reduce you down to 60, if that was helping you, that 40% was helping him get up to 60 combined with 100% rating and a 6% rating, he qualified for special monthly compensation. So they trying to knock out that special monthly compensation. So that you might still have your 100%, but they might be trying to keep you from getting extra scheduler money in the form of SMC. Then we have our brother Benny in here. Hello, H-Town vet and chat family, and everybody speaking to our brother. If y'all come into the room, y'all new to the channel, you're welcome to come in. If you have to been subscribed at least 5 days to keep down trolling issues. And everybody's greeting Ben and he's greeting everybody. So watch our video and live stream on the levels of protection. It will really be a true benefit to you. Now, listen, static doesn't mean guaranteed. So when your condition is static and that means it's permanent in nature, not likely to improve, that's not likely. That don't mean it won't. And they're not going to mess with you unless they have evidence of the improvement. You file a new claim for something else, and then they say, well, we're going to go back into that permanent rating too. You understand? So these are the things that you got to consider when you're doing something new. Sometimes the risk is worth it. Remember, static ratings are not guaranteed. They can be reduced. No 100% guarantee. Now, we talked about it, the 5, 10, and 20-year rules. Please watch our videos on that. Say, so I got a question. What if you 200% ratings? Just asking. Well, 200% ratings, that's good. Now, here's the thing. It's like a cushion. If you lose one of the 100%, you still got the other one, but you want to be careful because one of them might help you get certain things. And you're not clear on if both of them are permanent in total. You can have one temporary 100% rating and the other one permanent total. So yes. So, and you got to make sure that when you got that second 100%, that's what helped you qualify for the extra scheduler ratings many times. So while you're not going to get any extra money on the scalar side of the game, you can get some in special monthly compensation and other programs that the VA offer. And some of it is not just having the 200%, it's also what your service connected for that can get you benefits too. I hope I was clear. Let me know, brother. Say we got 14 likes and 22 watching. Family, we thank y'all. Now, Kevin Kobar Sr. says 2 100% ratings. Yes. And you need to see what they are and what are some of the benefits you can get for those conditions, how that benefits you. Say, may pyramid conditions. Well, no. So if they're both mental health, you ain't going to get rated, but for one mental health disorder, one of the kind of catches may be, couple of catches would be TBI, because it can have psychological effects and physical effects on your brain damage or being knocked unconscious. So you could have a mental health rating and TBI at the same time. They try to resist doing it, but it can be done if you have evidence that you can separate some of the symptoms out that's distinct for both conditions, because there is some symptom overlap with PTSD and traumatic brain injury, TBI. Now, and being anorexic, that's another issue. Okay, you was H-Town. I'm clear. Okay, let me know, because I know I'm explaining this stuff, but I got to make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. Because if you understand, if somebody else don't understand, let me know too. Now, here's the big problem. What makes a condition static or not static? Make it permanent or not permanent. Okay, this is the thing that gets us now. This is what messes with our percentages, thus messing with our money, thus messing with our special monthly compensation. If you have a condition that you're service connected for, and it's dynamic in nature, meaning it fluctuates, they're going to be keeping an eye on that. That's how you often get, that's why mental health ratings are often temporary ratings. It's hard to get 100% for mental health, but it's possible because many times mental health conditions fluctuate. A physical injury tends to stay with you most of the time for a lifetime. Okay? Mental health can fluctuate depending on the psychological effects it has on the individual. So it is dynamic. That's the opposite. What's dynamic is the opposite of static, stationary. Dynamic means it's fluctuating, moving back and forth. Come on now. Now listen. Kevin Kobarsian say, for example, 100% mental and 100% combined rating. It depends on if those combined ratings are for physical conditions. If any of that combined rating is for mental health, you're only going to get rated for the most severe mental health condition. But that other 100% combined, if it's for physical conditions or TBI, yeah, you're going to get it, calculate all of them, but you're only going to get paid 100%, right? And then other stuff may fall under the special monthly compensation, extra scheduler rating, because you've already, once you get to 100%, you've met the scale for a scheduler rating. Now you have to apply for extra scheduler if you qualify. Now they say keep seeking treatment. Please, if y'all don't listen to nothing else, Kevin, we're going to say that 3 times. Keep seeking treatment. I got my 100% permanent total already. Keep seeking treatment. I have 2 100 ratings. Keep seeking treatments. I got 100% and I've been having it for 20 years. So I'm under the 20-year rule. Keep seeking treatment because your health might go bad because you say, I ain't got to go get treatment. You're not getting treatment for the VA. You're getting treatment for your health. You understand? It ain't just for them. Keep seeking treatment. Great statement, Kevin. Now listen, the reason conditions are considered temporary and to be dynamic in nature is because there's improvement possibly ahead. So they got to reevaluate to see if their condition got better. So that's like a temporary 100%. You've had surgery on your knee. So, I mean, you had an injury on your knee replacement. After the surgery, they give you a certain rehab time. Then they're going to reduce that 100% and pay you for the residuals. When it comes to unemployability, individual unemployability, what are they going to do? They're going to reevaluate you every 3 to 5 years to see if the condition has improved, gotten worse, or stayed the same. If it is improved, they might reduce you depending on how severe the reduction is. I mean, the improvement is. So family, we on top of this thing. So the 2 temporary ratings is temporary 100% and IU, which is individual unemployability. Now we're going to talk about permanent ratings. Now, when it comes to permanent ratings, permanent total ratings. Now we talked about permanent ratings. Now we're talking about permanent and total ratings, which is a little different from just permanent or static ratings because it's a little more in there. Now let's talk about it. They're like apples and oranges. If you're permanent total and you just have a static rating that's permanent, that's different. 2 different things. Related, but not the same. They're both fruits, right? Are apple and orange, but they're not the same. Okay, now here we go. When it comes to permanent ratings, you either have 100% PNT or TDIU. If anybody in here, if you don't mind sharing, if you got either one of those, let us know so we can help other people that's trying to get it. So I'm gonna put in what I have. If you have a permanent and total rating, that's either TDIU or 100% PNT. If you got one of those, put it in there if you want, if you like to share. You don't have to if you don't want to. I can't find a percent, but okay. P. So for example, H-Town is 100% permanent total. So then we got Brother Kevin, 100% permanent total. Then we have Coastal, that's TDIU. Now, that being brought up, let's explain. Both of them get the same benefits. Both of them one ain't better than the other one if you ain't planning on going back to work. The difference with the TDIU is that it has work restrictions, but people still work. But there's work restrictions and income limits you can't make over the poverty level. But even with 100% permanent total rating, they could call you back in for a reevaluation. Huh? I'm telling you, VA do what they want to do. I ain't saying they're supposed to, but they can. MG Smith, because they could say that work shows improvement. MG Smith said 100% PNT. Jay Oliver says 100% PNT with special monthly compensation. So this is why we want to make sure that we're helping those getting there. Anybody got a static rating that's not 100%, but you got something that may be 0% and it's static. It may be 10% and it's static. Let us know. Oh, and Social Security disability. Family, if you don't have these things, you need to come here and we're going to help guide you. So now, Benny, this is a blessing. I started out with IU. Now, if Benny has this IU, which is individual unemployability, but that's a temporary rating. Okay? If you look, that's number 3. It's temporary. So every 3 to 5 years, they might call him in for a reevaluation. Or they may just keep kicking the date for the reevaluation up like they did with mine. So I didn't wait around for them. I pushed it and I requested a permanent and total rating. They could have gave me TDIU or 100% permanent total. They just gave me 100% permanent total because I had symptoms at the 100% rate. With the TDIU, you're not actually 100%, but you're paid at the 100% rate because you can't work, which is kind of both is the same thing. All right. Now let's continue, family. And I'm gonna get you got a statement up there. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, Kevin. We're gonna comment on that because I like that statement. Now we have to show, this is some of the evidence we've shown y'all in the past, that a condition is static or permanent in nature. This is the law. Number 1, static by showing no progress or change or progress. It's still where it was. So when they call you in for a reevaluation or they look into your medical notes and you still having the same problems, that's why Kevin Colbart Sr. says continue to seek treatment. So you'll have treatment reflecting the level of severity of your condition and showing that it hadn't changed if it continues to be, severe. Now, number 2, persisting for at least 5 years without material improvement. Okay. Meaning you've had that same condition and ain't went nowhere for 5 years. Number 3, permanent and not expected to improve. Remember, permanent, not expected to improve don't mean that it wouldn't. Permanent don't mean never change it. It might get better. Let's continue. Now, what makes it total? You have at least one symptom that reflects a 100% rating. Let me ask y'all this here. Can you have a permanent and total rating for migraines? Put either yes in a Y for yes or yes in the chat, a thumbs up, yes or a Y. If not, put an N, a no in the chat, or a thumbs down. Can you have a 100% permanent and total rating for migraines? Yes or no? I want to hear what y'all got to say. Now, for something to have permanent, we already went through the criteria, the law for it. Now, when it comes to something being total, you have to have at least one symptom at the 100% rate. Now, MG Smith say no. Dallas says no. And Jay Oliver says no. And family, if you're new to the channel, it's because we've talked about these issues before. Kevin says no. You need to know these things before you go talk to a lawyer. You need to know these things before you talk to a VSO. Huh? Betty says yes. Benny says no. Now listen, all conditions, static ratings, P&T. Okay. Now, static does not equal P&T necessarily, but we're going to break it down, because you could have a static condition at 10%. But I know what you're trying to say, but you pretty much on point. But we want to make sure we make clear here. So let's understand something. You can't get a permanent and total rating or permanent total rating for migraine headaches, because the highest rating you can get is 50%. Now, you can get a permanent rating for it, but it can't be permanent and total because it's only 50%. Remember, for it to be total, you have to have a symptom at the 100% rate, right? However, guess what? You can't have a symptom at the 100% rate scheduling in a scheduler fashion, because that's only a 50% rating. But however, let's say this here. If that 50% rating the migraines are so bad, it keeps you from working, even though it ain't 60% or a combined 70%, if it keeps you from working, you possibly could get unemployability or TDIU for it, yes. Benny says no. Now listen, Kevin says, but a lot of veterans don't know about static conditions. No, they don't know about static conditions, but that's why we broke it down and showed it on the sheet. Now, static is just one part of it. That means it's permanent. But for it to be permanent and total, it has to be static at the 100% rate. You have to have symptoms at the 100% rate that are unchanging, that are not likely to improve. But you can have a condition that has symptoms at the 50% rate, like migraines, that are static and not likely to improve, but are not permanent because they're not paying you at the 100% rate. Remember, total mean 100. They paying you at the 100% rate. I hope we made that clear. And if I didn't, let me know, and let me know, brother Kevin and others. Now, don't worry, family, I got it all written out. Now let's break this down. Static, not the same as 100% P&T. Say 100% P&T, all static. They're not just static, they static and they're total. They static at the total rating. It depends on the condition. All right. So yeah, I got 100% and it's static, but that means because it's 100%, it's static and total. It's permanent and total. There's a difference. Now, listen, let's talk about it. Static, not the same. What's no FRE? Tell me what FRE. I don't know. Y'all know I'm not good at acronyms. Now listen. Static, not the same as 100% permanent total. So that's why we're talking about it tonight. Static ratings don't automatically equal to a 100% permanent total rating. I'm reading to the right. Though a P&T rating often includes static disabilities, just like our brother said. Now listen, you can have a condition that's static, right? But it's not permanent total. But you can't have a condition that's permanent total without it being static. Tell me if I'm making sense. Huh? Tell me if I'm making sense. You can have a condition that's static without it being permanent total. Tinnitus, 10%. Migraine headaches, 50%. Teeth loss, 40%. But if you have a condition that's 100% permanent total, that condition is static at the 100% level. So you locked in at the 100% level. Tell me if it made sense. Now, what Brother Rose City D said, the next thing is no routine future exams. Now, static conditions, okay, let me know. But if I'm not making sense to y'all let me know, because it ain't gonna make sense to everybody. Ain't gonna get it the same way. So if it don't, I want to explain it further. You are making sense, because this was confusing to me. Now, another thing, what Rose City D brought up, no future exams. Now, no future exams could be for a static condition that's just permanent, or it could be for a permanent total condition that's static and total. Okay? So it could be for a PNT, 100% PNT condition, or a condition that's just static, that's just permanent, but not total. Okay? Either one. So let's say you have tinnitus and you have no future exam, but that might be at the 10% rating. And guess what we say? Static, not likely to improve. Don't mean that it won't improve. Permanent doesn't mean permanent. So look, it say no routine future exam. Because the condition is considered permanent, the VA typically won't. Now this is what it say, typically, don't mean they won't. The VA typically won't schedule routine reexaminations to assess improvement. And if they do, you get the information here to fight it. Now, let's go into the next thing here. The difference between static versus dynamic ratings. Dynamic ratings are subject to routine future exams to be assessed, to assess improvement. So they're evaluating the improvement. Has it gotten better or not? Because it fluctuates. Remember, dynamic meaning that you get, sometimes you feel good, sometimes you feel horrible. So they checking to see where it is to give you the proper rating given your condition is dynamic. Now, while static ratings are not, they don't fluctuate. They stay the same. They stuck in one place. In the words of Rose City D, not likely to improve. Family, are we getting this thing just like this car stuck in the snow? It could be stuck in the snow if it's a big old truck or a little car. 0% rating to 100% rating. But once it's 100%, it's permanent and total. Now, next, static ratings don't mean guaranteed. Just because you got a static rating, whether that be a 10% or you got a 100% permanent total rating that's static at the 100% rate. While static ratings are less likely to be reduced, they are not completely immune to reductions, particularly if there is evidence of improvement or if fraud is suspected. Remember, fraud changes the game. Even if you have the 20-year rule, all the rules out, the levels of protection are gone if you committed fraud to get the rating. Huh? You could have had the fraud. You could have had the condition for 20 years. If it's fraud involved, they taking it away from you. We have 15 likes and 27 watching. Family, this channel is growing. I'm gonna try to get this thing monetized so y'all can start doing these stickers and different things. Because a lot of people have been watching the videos. We are growing and we thank you. Smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Smash that like button. We got 15 watching and 27 watching, but only 15 likes. Smash that like button, family. Share this with others. Please, if you know somebody that this could help, share it with others. Matter of fact, let me see if I can share it with somebody. Nah, I ain't gonna be able to do it right now. I'm gonna share it afterward. Now, and subscribe. For those of you that like to participate in the chat, go ahead and subscribe now. So when we have our next live stream, you'll be able to chat with us, because we do that to keep down. We want people that are committed. If you want to comment, you should be subscribed if you want to participate, because this is for people that are committed to the channel or interested in supporting the channel. But you can't sit back and just listen. But this keeps down trolling issues. Now, family, look, we've done that. That's 49 minutes. We done. Now we're going to go into VA law, and we thank y'all for being so incredible, so patient. And we're not going to forget that statement that our brother made earlier. We're going to go back and look at from Kevin Colbert Sr. So, family, thank you. And we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. Let me get that out the way. All right, now, when it comes to VA law, we talked about, many people don't realize that you can, if the veteran passes away with a pending claim, or a claim that they have filed but haven't had a decision on it, or it's in the appeal process, that a family member, a qualifying family member, can be substituted into that claim. Did you hear me? Now, substitution cases in case of death of claimant. Who knew this? Put a 1 in the chat if you learned it here somewhere else, that you a veteran family member can be substituted into a VA disability claim. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that. Put a 2 in the chat if you have not. If you've heard that either before here or after coming here, let us know. If you never heard this before, you may put 2 in the chat. MG Smith did not hear it. Yes, indeed. That's why we covered it. Benny didn't know it. Sometimes y'all not here for every live stream, so you don't know. Jay Oliver knew. Coasty knows. Come on now, let us know, family. So let's see, general information and requesting substitution. Original claimant, you got the original claimant. That's the veteran that passed away. The substitution claimant, that's a qualifying family member, such as a spouse, child, or dependent parents. Joint class. Now, I don't know about that. We'll talk about that. We'll go into more detail. We might do a live stream on this one. Do an update on. We did a video on claim substitution. Now, listen here. This is from the VA family, and we want to thank our sister Betty Bobs for giving us this law. Definition. Listen, there you go right there. Substitution in case of death of claimant. The veteran is claiming VA compensation. This might be for a new claim, or it might be for the PACT Act. That could be real large sums of money, or it also could be for an increase on a claim. Substitution is the right of a living person to submit additional evidence in support of the deceased claimant, which is the veteran, pending claim, request for decision review, or appeal of decision. Now, family, they've been keeping this stuff secret from us. Huh? They've been keeping this secret. Hold on, I got to sneeze, family. Now we have our sister coming here. I'm assuming Angelica Williams. I don't know if you've been there before. She said she didn't know that. Then we have Kevin said he did. Some of us learned. Then Betty said yes, she learned it from H-Town. And everybody speaking, show love to our sister Williams. And then Benny says, hello, we embrace you here. We don't, we here, you family. We support and we embrace everybody. Betty Bob saying hello to our sister, Angelica. And then so does Benny, Jay Oliver. Now,